where today we obviously have some depressing news. I posted a minute monologue on it earlier. It sucks. We're going to be talking about it, reacting to it, doing the whole shebang, maybe doing some questions later for those of you who are in here, you know. I feel like this is going to be a depressing stream, so I don't even know how many of you guys are going to show up here, because like you're probably like, let me bury my head in the sand, and honestly, I hear that.
Yeah, I feel like we've, as a podcast, have like relatively buried our heads in the sand, especially in the early parts of negotiation. It's only until recently when like there was a potential chance of like, oh, things are might be delayed, which newsflash, they are delayed by 2 series.
Right, yeah.
But now it's unavoidable, because now that we're delaying baseball, it's like, well, we were planning at this point to start getting into the whole spring training, start getting into free agency, but now we got to talk about how they cannot come to an agreement, and we'll talk into a little bit more details.
Yeah, I never feel like we were necessarily burying our heads in the sand. It was just like we never really even had anything to talk about to begin with, because this process was so slow, and like, you know, we will get into that as well, right? It's like this process took literally like snail speed to get up to the point where it is right now, and there's only been news kind of on it in the last, you know, 72 or 100 hours or so. Like the last 4 days, we've actually seen some stuff coming out, which is like good in that regard, but clearly we're not where we need to be, because we are going to be canceling baseball, and that freaking sucks.
Yeah, just for the two first series, guys, and for Toronto Blue Jays fans, that's going to be the Baltimore Orioles series on the weekend, opening day weekend, so that kind of blows. But we are going to be missing the Tampa Bay Rays series during the week, so I guess it's kind of a bit of a trade-off. So,
yeah, exactly. Like one bad team, one really good team. What a nice way to pick up those dubs on the Baltimore Orioles, but like we might have lost them anyways to the Tampa Bay Rays, so you never know. Anyways, that's what's going on for the Blue Jays. You know, what are your initial thoughts right now, man? I gave my kind of like 2 cents on the minute monologue I did earlier, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. But yeah, what are you thinking?
Well, first, I want to dive into like where they are currently in the negotiations.
Okay,
and then I kind of want to talk about a little bit about what they talked about in their press conferences afterwards, both sides.
Yeah, let's do that.
So first off, guys, the gap between the pre-arb pool is the biggest and largest outstanding gap between the two sides. It's $55 million. That's a lot better than what it was like last week, which it was like $90 million. So clearly what they did in the last week really did help. And you can actually see that too, really close in the minimum salary, only $25K off for a player minimum salary.
Right, because right now, like the MLBPA is kind of looking at the 700 mark as being a reasonable number, or something that they might consider accepting, and they're at what, like 675 right now?
So like MLBPA is at 725, MLB is at 700.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Honestly, they're so close. Like, I could see it being like 715, and let's call it a day. Like,
yeah, and you know what? Like, frankly, like that is still a lot of money for a minimum salary. I understand inflation and whatever, and like we're not going to be talking about this for maybe 20 years after this, or whenever the next CBA comes up. But like, that's still a decent amount of money for a player who, let's face it, is probably going to ride the bench most of his MLB career. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, that is that. What else is there?
And the last one is the big one, which is the CBT. They're currently in 2022 CBT. They're about $18 million off, and then in 2026 it's going to slowly go up over time. They're about $33 million off by that 2026 date.
Right.
So that again, I feel like could be closed. Now, what that brings me to is how much more time do you think they're going to need to close that gap, assuming they do exactly what they did this past week?
Well, how much is the players budged here? You know, like how much? I feel like they're not, and you know what? Again, like we've been throwing out a lot of crap on like the MLB, because like they've been like very slow, like kind of dragging their feet through this whole process. But I actually haven't seen the players do a whole lot of like moving in their direction. It feels like
I definitely feel like the MLB owners were pressured last night a bit to get the season on their way, like they should.
Yes.
But the MLBPA has tried to meet them, but I think the MLB has moved a bit more. Yeah. Which honestly they should, because what they were initially proposing was kind of preposterous in my mind.
Yes, it was.
So they should have been moving faster.
Yes, it definitely was. We got to see some more from the MLBPA as well if we want to get anywhere, and I think that's. You know, like, I don't know what the magic number is anymore. Like, initially, I was thinking there were a few different magic numbers that we were going to have to hit, and, like, that's what it was going to be. I don't know, because, like, it is up to the MLBPA to kind of, like, move their, like, thing a little bit backwards, and then they'll go, you know, but we haven't really seen, like, an what was the word? Equivalent, I guess, that I'm trying to say. Like
equilibrium?
Maybe, yeah. I don't even fucking know, dude, but... I think it's going to take a minute still. I do think it's going to take a minute.
I think if they were to go in it again tomorrow and do back-to-back days, I think maybe it gets done in like another week, because they did make some significant ground. 90 million to what was it? It was 55. So that's some significant ground. However, Rob Manfred referenced in his post-game conference that he's going to need at least until Thursday to get back at it, where Tony Clark said, I'm available tomorrow. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I like that from Tony Clark, and I think that we should be back at it tomorrow. I think it's going to take a lot longer than what you're suggesting, though, and I don't think that it's going to be the same level of back and forth that we've had.
Intensity? Yeah, because there's no deadline.
Well, we ripped the Band-Aid off. We ripped the Band-Aid off. It's like, we're missing games. Like, we all knew it was going to happen, but now it's like, okay, well, how many games can you last?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I think it's going to be a waiting game now. It's like, that was the Band-Aid where it's like, okay, the media is like, who's going to make us miss games?
Right.
You know, but now that we're actually missing them, it's like, okay, well, like, what's another series? What's another series after that? You know,
another
it's like,
home run.
Yeah, exactly.
Another win game.
Yes, absolutely. And
another game that I'm missing and not attending.
Totally, absolutely.
Another live stream that we're not going live for.
100%, and it's going to suck for us. It's going to suck for baseball players, and it's going to suck for the owners too. It's going to suck for everybody. But like, again, the Band-Aid has ripped off, and now there is no like major incurring deadline where it's like, we got to get it done for this time. You know, so it's like, I think that they're actually going to dig their feet in a lot more now, which kind of fucking sucks, dude. The fact that I am thinking that. But I mean, guys, let us know your comments in the thing as well.
Yeah. I'm thinking that the media is not going to go away. I'm thinking, like, I just don't see them ever going away, because think about how much noise this has made in the past week, obviously because of deadline. But I think people are going to get more angry, more upset. And they don't want, if there's even word of another 2 series being canceled and then another 2 series being canceled, I think it's going to be absolutely loud on social media, and it's going to be only lighting the fire even more. So I could see maybe 4 series, maybe I'll even say 4 to 6 series being lost here before an agreement is made.
Well, that's the only way that we're ever going to get anything done. And I was telling people in our in the minute monologue that I posted, I was like, cancel your MLB TV.
Oh, I canceled it, actually.
Do not buy any merchandise. And even though, you know, you're going to be checking Twitter and stuff, don't watch Rob Manfred's updates. Don't watch the updates right now, because, like, literally go away, fuck off, and, like, show baseball that it's like, we're pissed at you guys right now. It's like, we're not giving you any money. We're not giving you our attention. That's the only way right now that I think that these people are going to look at it and be like, holy crap, like, maybe we are losing some fans right now. Social media is coming after us.
Yeah.
We're losing fans. Nobody's making any money right now. Like, we got to, like, make some adjustments here.
Every analyst is going after the union. Like, not the union, the MLB. Sorry, excuse me. They're actually very much on the union side.
They're definitely going after they're going after the MLB more than they're going after the MLBPA. They have called out the MLBPA a little bit, but most of the time it's been MLB. And I think, honestly, because let's think about this logically. Let's think about this from a point where we're at right now. We are media, you and I.
We're yelling at them.
And are we not missing out on opportunities for us because there's no baseball?
100%, dude.
So is Jeff Passan.
Dude,
so is Bob Nightingale. You know, these guys are like, can we just get baseball underway? Because not only are you screwing the players, the fans, yourselves, but you're also kind of screwing us.
Well, hey, you know who gets hurt the most out of this shit is the little guys. And we're a little guy.
Totally.
We're a little guy. We are literally getting hurt. Whereas, like, Jeff Passan, like, he'll probably survive.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, he will.
Where it's like, we really, especially our channel, like, we rely on MLB and baseball to be around.
Totally.
And we don't have it, and we've suffered because of it. So we need baseball back in order to grow and prosper and to get more fans.
Well,
you know
hopefully,
what I mean?
and honestly, we do need the Passans of the world and the Nightingales and the other people to kind of, like, go after these people. Because that is, like you said, I think the only way that, like, this is going to happen, if there is a consistent fire lit under their ass. And, like, Jeff Passan saying stuff out, like, he tweeted out today, this is a very sad day for baseball, like, everybody's calling everybody out, like, that does need to happen, and we need to be holding these people accountable. And if you're gonna take a day off, like, we need to be holding you accountable. And if you're not gonna, like, budge in your thing, we need to hold you accountable, because that is literally it for if we want to get baseball back.
Yeah, a big thing that, like, the MLBPA, Tony Clark was saying in his interview was he kept referencing that 43-day period where the MLB did nothing. It's like, you took 43 days off. Yeah. So, like, he was being held and holding him accountable. So it's like, now that you took 43 days off and the union's been here the entire time waiting, like, I think you got really no excuse, guy. Like, you really have to start negotiating if you really want baseball back.
Absolutely.
And your reputation.
And frankly, the 43 days is abhorrent. Like, that is just so stupid.
That is ridiculous.
But, like, that was always what it was going to be, as far as just, you know, this is a worker negotiation. This is something like that. And hold up. Could the union have gone and talked to them?
Could the union haven't gone? They tried. They were
tried,
not. They were not.
They were like, we're not talking.
Yeah, they were not talking.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, that's kind of fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, and that's why I literally hate the owners, and that's why for me, like, again, both sides. You know, we can't be ignorant and be like, oh, only the players are great. No. But like, it's that 42-day period has me going. And,
yeah, absolutely. It is stupid.
I wanted to ask you something too, because Manfred also made a comment about how the last 5 years financially have been very difficult for the MLB.
Right, and I did see the tweet that kind of like debunked that.
Yeah.
And said that it was 2019 that was the 17th season in a row where profit margins have gone up for MLB. You know, so it's like they are literally, and it was like stupid money, like close to $11 billion or something like that. Like, it was just like fucking stupid money. Where it's like this is like so abhorrently ridiculous. Like, you could like literally buy a country for that sort of money. And then obviously 2020 did hurt, and like totally, like, we understand that. But it's like you didn't pay the players that much in the 2020 either. It's like we had a big skirmish about that. And then probably 2021 you're recovering as well. So I do understand all of that, and maybe that can be like looked at a little bit. But let's face it, if you get baseball going and COVID is a non-factor in a year or two, you got to imagine that if you manage this fucking sport properly, like you should be doing, then profit margins should increase and go forward. So I don't think that baseball is not going to continue to make money. The only way that it wouldn't do that is if you dumbass idiot, manage us into the ground.
Yeah, like, they're gonna be fine, guys. Like, they're gonna survive. Like, worst case scenario, you miss the entire season, and I don't think that's really gonna happen. But worst case scenario that does happen, there'll be baseball in 2023.
Right.
They have so much money.
And at the end of the day, as pissed off as I'm gonna be at them, I will still watch. You know, even though I'm literally gonna be like stubborn and frustrated about it the entire time.
I mean, I wonder if Manfred knows that his reputation is so run into the ground. It is so bad that he's like, well, it can't get any worse.
No, and it can't.
And he can't save it either.
No,
he can't. Even if he announces tomorrow, baseball's back. We agree to the MLBPA.
It would literally take like a solid like a year and a half of Manfred being like elite for us to forget.
Yeah, what would he even have to do?
He just needs to be elite. He'd need to do things that it's just like, wow, like, hey, like, that's actually really cool. You know, just I can't even tell you what they would be.
He retires.
Wow, that would also be very good. Yeah, that would also be very nice too.
Honestly, I would actually be. Actually, would I respect that? No, I wouldn't. I'd be like, good. I wouldn't even respect him.
Well, no, I don't care. Yeah, it's just like, go do your thing. Like, you with your probably billions of dollars that you have, dude. It's like stupid ridiculous. We lost out on the, what was it? It was the Rays. It was the Orioles. We're gonna start with the Rangers, which is actually kind of exciting because cool. Marcus Semien.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a cool opening day. That's actually.
Kind of if again we do get that, which is like hard to say assuredly that we are going to get that. You know, it's like, is this gonna be hurting the Blue Jays if we keep losing stuff like this? Because I did see coming up, you know, we got like Yankees and I think Red Sox are gonna be like in there too. You know, it's just like, I mean, if we did need to lose a few series like that, I wouldn't be horribly against that. You know?
Well, I don't know. Like, it's hard. Like, I think we talked about this before one time. It's hard to say whether it's gonna like benefit or hurt some other teams if we lose some games. So I don't really know, but. I think it's just, again, it just kind of hurts the whole Toronto fan base because we haven't seen them for so long. We've only seen them for 2 months of home game baseball in the last 2 years. So that hurts the fan base. And that's, but not the team. The team should be okay. The team should still smack dingers and pitch amazing games and Romano for
you gotta imagine, right?
Vladdy's looking buff, so like he's looking good.
And what's kind of like the consensus for you right now as far as like what date do you have in mind? Like, I know that you said you're thinking like 4 or 6 series. You know, it's just like, what would that make it then?
So that would make it like
like mid-April,
April 14th, April 14th or some shit like that.
2 weeks in.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's reasonable. Like, I think like actually like a month and a half ago or something like that. That's kind of the date that I was looking at. Was it's like like 2 weeks in,
which is
I'm
fine.
Thinking No, yeah, I mean, that is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I still think that 162 games is probably too many anyways,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But like, obviously I want us to start on time and maybe just stretch them out a little bit more, but yeah, like I would be totally fine with that. And let's face it, by June, we totally forget about this entire thing anyway.
Exactly. Okay, so let me ask you then, what month, at what date when we cross it, you'd start to get a little bit agitated?
Well, I'm already agitated.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm already agitated. To get more agitated, I feel like the agitation will continue to grow.
Yeah, okay, let me rephrase it then. So, if they announce baseball tomorrow, I'm going to be like, yes, hallelujah. Mm-hmm. What date does it need to take for you when they announce baseball to be like, well, it's about dang time?
I mean, still probably tomorrow. Like,
true.
Still, but I mean, this should have been dealt with like months ago, like you said. Like, I think maybe the way that you're framing the question is just like, because at the end of the day, it's like I'm gonna get increasingly agitated. I'm going to get increasingly frustrated. I will still go and watch baseball. I mean, for a point of no return though, like there won't be that for me, but for maybe some other fans, like I don't even know, like mid-May or some shit like that. Dude,
because I was gonna say for me, it's about mid-May. I was like mid-May to June. Yeah, like if baseball's not back by then, because then now that starts. Because like, look, you can miss 2 weeks of season. It's like Tiu missed the first 2 weeks of season. Yeah, Robbie Ray missed the first 2 weeks of season. They went on to have great seasons, and you never noticed.
You know, and that's the thing too. It's like we could still look at that season as oh darn it, like we played 150 games instead.
You still get a good idea of the player.
Yeah, 1,000%. That is still a full season of baseball. Like we know what you're gonna do in that period of time, right? Yes. So most of the time we look at a player, they only play 150 games anyways, and we're like, oh, that was a full season, you know? They missed out on some for an injury here, injury there, so like that would be fine. But yeah, you start getting into the mid-May mark, like that is just absolutely abhorrent. And now, once again, we were talking about this the other day, guys, it's like, I don't want another 60-game season or like a shortened season where then you look at those statistics and you're like, well, what do we have in you? Can we give you an extension? How, like, what do we base this off of? Can we sign that free agent long term? Like, do we really trust him off of like that shortened period of time? Like, I don't know.
You're gonna have to go off of exactly what we did in 2020, which is that.
And that's bullshit. You know, it's just like I have no idea, right? It's just, and there's so many players. When you look back at them, like going off of that, it's like, oh wait, like I thought that you were going downhill for a little bit, then it's like, oh nope, you bounced it back, or it's like, oh wait, no, that actually was an indicator. You know, because I remember like everybody was like, oh, like it was just mild down year for Christian Yelich right there.
And Cody Bellinger.
It was just 60 games, like just write it off, you know, like.
And they didn't.
If that was a free agent, you signed Cody Bellinger to like $150 million deal, and now you're like, holy mother of God, what the hell did I just do?
Yeah, well, you gotta do like a 1 year thing, kind of like what we did with Marcus Semien.
I guess
because like if Marcus Semien's coming off his 2019, you're like, oh damn, like let's sign this guy big. Right. But then it's like, bad year. 1 year deal, and he proved it, right? So you might see a lot more of those.
Yeah, you might have to. I feel like Cody Bellinger's a weird one though, because it's like in 2019, like he was obviously the best player in baseball, like by a wide margin, and then it's like, and then there was that. I feel like he'd still get like a big contract, but you never know. You never know, and that's what that's such crap.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe he might even want a 1 year because it's like maybe he's not getting the offers that he would assume he would get. Well, if he was doing well.
I mean, you definitely want to take the long term, Cody. At this point, Cody, you should be taking the long term as much as possible, bro.
We got one comment here for Sebastian saying March 12th for me. So after March 12th, he's going to start to get pretty frustrated.
Well, okay, and I think that's plenty of time, right? Like if we're at this place right now, we're off by. Still some sizable millions of dollars, but if some people can start like, pulling their like fucking whatever they have stuck up their butts and like taking it out of there, it's like making some concessions. That gives them 2 weeks to do something. Yeah. That's perfectly enough time to get it done.
And that's why I'm really confident, like, if they get back into the media room, that's what it is. If they have to put the pressure back on, we as the media have to put the pressure on them. They got to put the pressure on themselves because they basically closed the gap by like they met them halfway, right? Because they were at that 190 or like that 90 million, that $100 million mark for that ARB pool. They're down to 55, and that CBT was like 40-35. They're down to 18. So it's like they got halfway.
They're at the 55 in the ARB pool right now.
Yes,
that's what the owners have offered.
So that's the gap. Right, so the gap was 100, and now they're at 55. So
what have the owners offered then?
I don't have the details here, but that's the gap.
That's the gap.
Yeah, I was just focusing on what the gap is right now. How close can we get? Right. So if they give another hard week and a half of hard talks, I think a deal could be done.
I mean, a deal could be done tomorrow. You know, it's just like, are they going to do that?
Most likely, probably not. No,
probably, yeah, exactly.
But if they do exactly what they did, they should at least, with that momentum, the way they're progressing, done by next week.
Yeah,
during the middle of the week.
I mean, I really hope so, dude, because it's so demoralizing and just such a horrible thing to happen to this game of baseball, you know, that we have going on right now, guys. Like, it's been in the media for a really long time that baseball is kind of on the decline as far as Americanized sports go, and like this is just one of those things where it's like this is how it happens. You know, you look back at shit like this, and let's just say in 50 years the game of baseball is dead. Well, this is going to be like one of those slides that you have on your PowerPoint explaining why that happened. Because there was stupid nonsense going on like this, and freaking Manfred's an asshole. Sorry, I just had to get
No, go ahead. You know, I think it's really a shame because I really, you know, as a podcaster, as a YouTuber that covers baseball content, like, I really see a vision where baseball can start to begin to appeal to like a younger audience, and like we can bring back youth into baseball. But it's kind of tough when there is no baseball to be watched and there's no baseball to be covered. So how could we possibly help the game of baseball? Everybody who's in the industry, and a shout out to everybody who we've worked with in the industry, especially all those YouTubers out there that are trying their best to bring the younger audience into it. And we just can't right now.
Well, it'll never happen. It'll never happen with Manfred, though.
It will never. And it will. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I literally see a photo of on your laptop of a clown nose painted over him, and that is perfect. That is how I see this man.
That's the thing, and like it just won't ever happen, right? Because that's not, you know, his mindset, and we're seeing it now. Is very much like, it's like I appeal to the owners. I don't appeal to the fans or like the progression, you know, of this fucking sport, right? It's like you're never gonna get Manfred like 22 the video game. That's why we have Madden 22, you know, that's who we need. We need somebody who actually gives a crap about the game of baseball to like, you know, push it forward and like bring it to new mediums and crap.
You know who? You know what I've been saying for 1,000 years, or not 1,000 years actually. Whenever he became part of the MLB Executive Council. Is Ken Griffey Jr.
I know, he's like definitely,
dude, could be. He's a player, right? He cares about the game. His dad is a player. Like, his whole life has been baseball. Yeah. You think Rob Manfred gives a fuck about baseball? Clearly not through his actions.
Right.
Right? So, obviously, I think that having someone like Ken Griffey Jr. is a way better solution to help baseball survive than that clown.
I also do want to comment on what John McKenzie just said right here. I guess the players don't make enough money. Maybe they can get real jobs. And you know what? And I hear because I was actually saw a tweet today too that was talking about how it was like, well, an average MLB player, he like does like whatever, like a short period of time, like that's 10% of their earning life. This is the minimum salary. Pay them, and the minimum salary was like $700,000 or $725,000 or whatever it was. And I understand those statistics, and I do think like they probably should get paid that because, you know, with inflation that will be what it is.
Yeah.
But I also don't like the narrative that's coming out right now about how these like MLB players who get this minimum salary are like it almost feels like the media's portraying them as these impoverished people who aren't making that much money at all, and like the MLB's hoarding all the money, which they probably are.
Yeah, they are.
But $700,000 or however much they're making now, $600. I forget what the number is.
It's like 700, or before. I think even before it's like 575. It was something small.
Okay, let's say 575 right now. If you're in the league for 3 years on a minimum salary contract, you get $1.5 million. You now have MLB player next to your name, and you can probably do anything you want in your life. And it means that, yes, you are not going to be able to retire at the ripe age of 28 whenever you get out of the fucking league. It means that you will have to go get a real job at some point, but you will also have $1.5 million in the bank, and you are literally an MLB player who has all of this clout, so you could do whatever it is that you need to do.
Yeah, and I want to comment on that too. It's like, yeah, I totally get that, like, you are an elite player in the game. Like, you are one of the best players in the entire world at this game. And that's why you're going to get paid $1.5 million. Like, if I'm the best analyst in the world, I might get paid $1.5 million for, like, a 15-year career or something, or a 10-year career, whatever the hell my payment is. So it's like, okay, great. That's what that is. But so take it. You know what I mean? Like, how much are we really fighting for you? I don't know.
And that's why I'm not a player. I think that's what I mean. It's like, I just want to get away from the narrative here that it's like an MLB player who gets paid the minimum is struggling to get by. You're right. That will be their career. They will have made their money, and then they will need to readjust, pivot, and do something else like most other human beings in the world. Trevor Plouffe was not that good on the baseball diamond, guys.
He's like actually quite average.
He was worse than average. He had like a 714 OPS.
Oh yeah, it's
career
worse
OPS.
That's worse than average.
There was not a lot of good seasons there, man.
No.
And now, you know, he's thriving on John Boy's podcast. I know that he's involved in a few other little business ventures. He's killing it right now based off of the clout that he has as being
a baseball player.
And not that good of a one either.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you can do things with the fact that you were an MLB player. It's not just the $700,000 that you get, you know, and I have no other skills. No, you do. Yeah. You're a human being. Just like pivot a little bit and do something else with your career. It's like that is an incredible start. So I just want to get away from that narrative there.
Yeah,
guys.
no, I agree. It's like because like for like when we look at our lives too, and like yes, we're not baseball players, but like I'm gonna be working. I'm gonna be moving all around my life and my career.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm gonna be doing when I'm 60 years old, but that's life, bro. You take what you get and you move on and you adjust to the world. Like it's honestly kind of offensive to say that players after 3 or 4 years can't survive. Like, they have to live off that for the rest of their life.
It's like, just like, you're not going to do anything else now? It's like, no, like, you can just, like, take your clout as being an MLB player and, like, boom, you can become a gym teacher easily.
Right, boom, you can become a college coach, whatever you want. They just, like, it's kind of insulting to say that, like, that's all they're going to do and they can't do anything else. But it's like, and people make the argument, like, they didn't, like, really study anything in college. They went and just played baseball, where it's like, well, now you're calling them stupid.
Yeah.
You're literally calling them incompetent to make it a life adjustment that everyone in this world does. So that's offensive. So anyways, point being said, take the goddamn $700,000.
Yeah, take the money, man. Like I feel like $700,000 is enough, you know, and it's like, and frankly, it's just like, if you weren't that great on the baseball diamond either, like if you're getting paid the bare minimum, then maybe brush up on some books too, and just like make sure that you're good to go when like the major league career doesn't work out. You know,
out here having plan B's and C's in this world. Like, why can't
like
you?
If you're actually getting the minimum, then you know you probably have grinded your way to be here, and you got to be thinking, well, maybe I should be looking at plan
B. After 26.
Yeah.
After 26, I'm out of the league, so start prepping, man.
Literally. Also, too, the ARB bonus, I have some thoughts on that as well.
Yes,
and we were talking about that earlier, and basically, like, I totally understand that it's like why these players want to get this ARB pool, and it makes a lot of sense. It's like, frankly, the fact that Vladdy got paid what Vladdy got played last year, obviously, that is a misrepresentation of talent. He was one of the best players in the league, one of the best hitters, arguably the best last year, right? So it's like, he's right up there. He should be getting paid like one of the best guys for his performance on the field. Now, you don't want to give him a major contract off of 1 year. That makes sense. He's still new to the league, but you do want to give him something. That's why they have this ARB pool with the WAR in the top 30. That makes perfect sense. But to make it like $100 million or $110 million, I guess I kind of was thinking to myself, and I'm like, that just means that the best players, because let's face it, Vlad is one of the best players in baseball, and I think we all expect him that when the time comes, he is going to get a massive free agent contract. It's just making the guys who are going to get the $500 million deals even richer.
Yeah.
And
by not that much, too. Not that much of a difference.
Yeah.
Like, okay, he does it for 1 year. Maybe the best young guys do it for 2. They do it for 3 years. Okay. That's an extra what? 20, $30 million? Right. I don't know, depending on what this ARB pool is. But it's like, all right, well, then later down the line, if they're that good at that age, they're going to make $300, $400 million. So is it that big of a difference?
Yeah, because it's like they're literally going to be getting the paid
unless
anyways.
they get injured.
Like, unless that's the one thing that could happen. It's like unless you get hurt, and then, but I feel like you're still going to get paid anyways. It's like you're literally still
going to get like a season, like a career.
Like literally, it's like you're done, and like that would suck, and that would just be horrible.
Unfortunate.
But I also think too, now I'm thinking about it. It's like, well, is this ARB pool, if it's massive, if this ARB pool is like you're going to get paid like more money, is that going to stop Vlad from signing a long-term extension now?
No.
Why not? Because think about it. If he's like, hey, if I can just be in the top 30 WAR, I'll get paid like $20 million every year, and then I'll just get to free agency, and then I'll get even more money than the long-term extension that they're giving me now.
I hear what you're saying. Maybe this more applies to Bo because Vlad he's done with the pre-arb. He's now into arbitration, right? So that doesn't apply to him. But like for Bo, for example, who would have gotten paid the pre-arb last year if it was in place, he has a chance to get paid again this year.
Or like, for instance, like a guy like Wander Franco, who signed it after like only a few ABs. Like he still has like a lot of pre-arb years left. If this was in place and he's looking at himself and thinking, holy shit, like I'm the guy right now. Like maybe I'll just accept, like maybe I'll wait. Maybe I'll take my $10 million that I'm going to get because I'm going to be in the top 30 WAR or whatever he's going to get paid. Hold off on signing this, trust myself because I know I'm going to be elite, and then get paid $400 million later. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe that Rays deal doesn't go down if this thing is in place.
Because that's the thing. If the money's like flashing in them with the big contracts, like, oh, like that's much better than $575,000. Like I hear what you're saying. So and potentially that honestly could be really exciting for baseball. So that maybe they can give even bigger contracts with this deal. Now that they have this high CBT, it's like, oh, now we can sign even more.
For real. Also, Nordles said just decided to pop in and say hello. Hey man, how's it going? Hi guys, looks like baseball doesn't want to have a baseball season. Today is a sad day for baseball. Exactly what Passon said. And also Matt Needham says, hey Nick, we can always stay tuned to the Japan League. And yo guys, everybody, hop on the train. I've picked up on a team. I was looking at their record. They're going through a bit of a rough time right now. I forget their name, but it's like the Ham, what is it?
There's something with Ham in their name.
Yeah, Ham Giants. No. Ham Bombers. I don't know. It's
something with Ham.
Yeah. And I know that Ham is actually part of the name of the city that it's from, but I can't pronounce the city and I forget what it is, so I forget. But I think Ohtani played for them at some point in his Japanese career.
Shoot.
And they won the league in 2016, but they've been on a steady...
Ohtani?
Probably with Ohtani. I'm not sure if he was playing with them at that point. But either way, guys, that's my team. I will be watching them at some point. So it's like they're going through a bit of a rebuild right now, guys. We got to hop on now.
Wow, I cannot look that far into this right now. I can't. But if
it was kind of a joke, but I was like kind of interested too. So I was like, how are we doing? Like if this does come to fruition, what am I watching?
It would be too painful for me. I couldn't. Like I'm just like, just sign the freaking deals. Just sign it. Next week, guys, next Wednesday, we're going to go live when they sign the deal and everything's okay and we survive. And also, hello, Jordan N. and Hockey Kid. Welcome. You're tuning in on not the most exciting live podcast.
Hold up, guys. I just got to look up this Japan team right now so I can tell you guys who we're hopping on. Baseball. Let me get that. This team that we're gonna be rooting for, guys. God damn it, where are the goddamn baseball teams? Where are they?
But guys, let us know in the comments as while Nick's pulling this up, like, what are your thoughts? I'm seeing a lot of your thoughts here. We got I'm reading it here. Hate to say this, says Abedker, but I think the owners of big clubs want more CBT and small clubs can't do it. And I did see that, Abba. And then I also saw that the MLBPA or MLB wants to do a revenue share for teams like Oakland Athletics and like the Tampa Bay Rays that can't afford it. I don't really know too much about that, but I saw that they're trying to help out those teams that can't actually get that high CBT.
Also, that's right, just your average show. It's the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters.
Oh.
Yeah, they've won 3 championships. They've been established since 1945, so we're on a bit of an underdog story. I could have easily taken the Seibu Lions. They've won 13 championships. I could have even taken the SoftBank Hawks. I know that the Giants, the Giants are really good. That's where Bryce Harper's going to go.
Your Giants,
they've won 22 championships. They've been established.
Wow,
but
they're like the New York Yankees.
We're here for the long road. We're here for the hard road, guys. So hop on the Ham Fighters. That's who we're going to be cheering on this year when there's no baseball at all.
Oh my God! If it actually happens, so like I said, actually you guys haven't seen it yet, but in one of our podcast that we recorded, I was like, we'll just like change the beginning of our title from Blue Jays today to the Ham Fighters.
Ham Fighters, baby. That's
Ham Fighters today.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, comment down below if you guys know anything about them. Like they're key players. I gotta start getting adjusted,
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do you think Seiya Suzuki will go back to Japan because of the lockout and the season won't start on time?
Good question.
Probably. Actually, I didn't even think about that at all.
I didn't even think about that.
But if I'm Seiya Suzuki, dude, I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know,
screw MLB.
Like, this is bullshit. Like, yeah, I'll just go back to Japan and like hit 45 home runs
and actually make money.
Literally, dude. And like, honestly, if Bryce Harper wants to go over there, if like Vladdy and Bo want to head over there, like, go on, boys. I'll go watch you. In fact, that would be great. I would 1000% watch if all those guys are over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty sweet.
Guys, so let's wrap this one up here because we pretty much covered everything. If you want to watch it back, it'll still be live on our channel. You can watch it back. But any last thoughts about